Welcome to this episode of Season Day Scholar, Season 3. We have been following Professor Ray for from the first season, and somehow the time has come. And now today we have with us Professor Chittaranjan Ray, who is permanent director of the Nebraska Water Center. And he is also by training, he is a civil engineer, and he did his PhD from University of Illinois. And he has been a thorough profile where he has been chief environmental engineer at University of Hawaii before Nebraska, and he also worked after PhD at Illinois State Water Survey. He's someone who is really at the top of bridge of quantity and quality, which is very much important for water security. Because nowadays, just an expert of quality or just an expert of quantity perhaps will not work. And he has a lot of work in India also. And so welcome to this show, sir. It is very pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Manish.
How do you deal with conflict? Or do you, as an administrator, I mean, just see, I'm not asking that as a administrator of this center, but just being an administrator, what are the virtues needed to be have, and then also how you deal with the conflict?
Yeah, because my dealing with the conflict is very unique, not like a typical faculty that I have to face the public. So that is the difficulty that the public means I can give you an incident that Roberto Lenton, that time the executive director of the Water for Food Institute, and the vice chancellor wrote an op-ed in a newspaper in Nebraska that how Nebraska is managing its water wisely. And they asked me, can we put your name? I said, without giving deeper thought, I said, okay, go ahead. But then within a week, I get a nasty letter from somebody who is not happy with that op-ed, saying in a nasty wording there. I don't want to repeat here. But he has some legitimacy to ask that also. He's a surface water irrigator. So he's the water he was getting from a canal is drying out because excessive groundwater pumpage has reduced the stream flow. There is not enough reservoir capacity to store it. So you have to be careful in dealing with that. But then other times the issues are the Nebraska has 23 natural resource districts. You probably know those, like how they manage their water quantity quality. So one day 4 managers kept me after a lunch meeting and kind of blasted off about the university, that the university not doing enough to help the people in the state. I say, okay, I can take the message back. I'm not in an authority to tell you I can do this thing, but I can make things happen to some extent, working with you guys and the administrators at the university. So that took about a year and so, because these NRDs or a natural resource district, they have their boards. So our vice chancellor had to go and meet with them. What are the problems? Why they are complaining about Nebraska? And they said some good things about other states. So understanding their problem, and then the next step comes that how do we do this? We have to have a joint recruitment. So they will put some funding. I had to convince the university to put some funding to have joint staff member. Then to do these demonstration type experiments in the farmers fields, you need money. So how you deal with that? I have to find people who have the money. So Nebraska Environmental Trust or entities, these are government, taxpayer funded or lottery funded. So it's all this politicking. Bring that executive director to the managers, discuss what to be done, and so they got about $750,000 the initial demo project. So this small person. So then who are the people going to work? So this mixed match of things like a matchmaking business. Then there are sometimes things flare up, things are not going well, or why as a typical faculty, you can say, I don't want to do this, but I cannot say that because I have to, one side I have to deal with these people, and other side I have to deal with or find the best people who can do it. And faculty, I don't have control over. So they will say, I don't want to do it. So and the vice chancellor's office also, a lot of times the NRDs are getting a lot of pressure that university is not delivering in time. And I have to push the vice chancellor quite a bit. Recently, I say you have to take an unilateral approach that, or give me the responsibility. We just do it in a timely manner. Otherwise, you cannot. We just cannot linger things out. So those are the things you have to have. Both legs, one in the public space, one in the university system, and you are trying to do things where the faculty are not reporting to you.
Part of the question was that what are the virtues one should have to be a good administrator?
Virtue, you have to listen to people first.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because without listening, if you don't have the patience to listen, you cannot solve the problem. So administration means it is everybody, starting from you're a program assistant to dealing with the vice chancellor. All those things you have to deal with in the academic space and in the public space. Anybody, state employees to NRD employees to anybody, farmer or so. And you have to deal with both same time. So you have to build the trust that you can consistently or persistently work on a problem and try and be able to deliver it, the solution or whatever you're looking for, or at least stay engaged, don't get dropped off from the radar. And some faculty members saying that, oh, I don't like this, I just want to get out, I don't want to do that. That's okay, but I cannot show my face to these people in the next month's meeting. So these are the public people. So those, and now the city of Lincoln is looking for a second source of water. So they asked me if I can be in this committee, and the mayor is setting up with the 10 or so people from all aspects of life, businesses to NGOs to any taxpayer, all that. So those are the things you have to have. The quality of listening, understanding their problems, and that what you will be doing if you are them. But at the same time, you have to be strong to some extent, that you have to have some deadline to deliver. If you know that this person is not going to be able to do this, tell them that maybe better to drop out. I'll have to find somebody else to do it. Otherwise, it's going to pull everybody down. I had maybe not that many, because I have been lucky to some extent that the recruitment or people who I brought in, they all mostly have been good. If one or two cases, that's kind of incidences out of their control. But you have to be a little bit careful in that recruitment also.